Okay, we're going to start out the tutorial on how to make notch swatches from silhouettes by showing how to take a black and white image, silhouetted image, and convert that into a path that can be imported into Rhino. So basically we're going to go from this black and white image, we're going to create a path from the image, and we're going to export that path to Illustrator and then load it into Rhino as a .ai file. So inside of Photoshop, we'll start with our image, and we're going to get our selection tool, our magic wand tool. And we're going to select our image. It selects all the black area of the image. And then we're going to come over to our paths menu. Normally we start in our layers menu, but we're going to come over here to our paths menu, and we're going to say, come over here to make Workpath. Okay, and we're going to use a tolerance of 0.5. A tolerance of 0.5. That'll maintain the integrity of our lines. And then we're going to click on OK. And now we have a work path. Let's double click that, and we're going to call it silhouette. And click on OK. And now we're going to come over here and we're going to choose our path selection tool, and we're going to click on our path to activate it, and it shows our path with all of the control points for that path. And then we're going to come over here to File, Export Paths to Illustrator. Okay, and the path's name is Silhouette. And we're going to put this on my desktop. We're going to output it, and I'm going to call it Sil 01, and I'm going to save it in AI format. And I'm going to click on Save. Okay, and so now we've saved that path. Okay, now that we're within Rhino, I'm going to maximize the top window because we're going to be working flat during this project, so we're going to doing most of our work in the top window. And I'm going to do a file, and I'm going to open up that Illustrator file. Okay, and I'm going to preserve my units so that 1 inch in AI equals 1 inch in Rhino. And so now this is my object comes in at approximately close to 10 inches, which is a good size. I don't need to change that. I'm going to maximize this window, and I'm going to move this over here, and I'm going to drag it down holding my shift key and alt tap so I can make a copy. I always like to do my work on a copy so that now I have my silhouette shape. Okay. The next thing that I want to do, I want to create my notch. Okay, I'm going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to click on my rectangle tool. I'm going to type in 0. Enter. And now I want to indicate my material thickness. In this case, it's going to be 0.13, which is for E-flue cardboard. And I'm going to make my notch 1 inch in height. And so this shape represents my notch. And I can place that where I'd like my notches to be on my figure. So I'm going to place one there. I'm going to drag it, alt tap, bring it over here. I'm going to turn off my end snap, and I'm going to rotate this like so. This one I'm going to place here. I'm going to drag another one over here, alt tap, make sure that plus sign comes up. I'm going to rotate that. So I'm going to notch that one in here. Place that in there. And I'm going to drag this one down over here, alt tap. I'm going to place this one here, and I'm going to rotate it slightly. Oops, hit Control Z. Get that back. I forgot to alt tap. You want to make sure you alt tap. There we go. There goes that plus sign. And I'm going to take this one. I'm going to place that one here. I'm going to rotate it ever so slightly in this direction, like so. And I'm going to alt tap my last one and place it over here, like so. And there goes my notches that are indicated in my piece, and I'm going to use this as a reference. And I keep this around, okay? And I'm going to drag this, holding down my Shift key, Alt Tap, get a plus. And now what I want to do, I want to extract the notches from this piece, and I can make adjustments on those, like so. There we go, like so. Okay. And so now, the next, as I stated, I want to cut out my notches. So I'm going to select all of these, and I'm going to use my tool Curve Boolean. And it asks me to click the inside region to keep. Delete input, I want to set that to all because I want to get rid of all my lines, and I want to make sure that combined regions is set to yes. And I click that, that's what I want to keep. I right click, and then my notches are cut out. Okay. At this point, I want to set up my layers. Okay. And I'm going to add 3 layers. I'm going to create a layer called Intercut. That gets painted blue. Set up another layer. It's going to be called Outer Cut. That gets painted magenta. And I'm going to create another layer right here. I'm going to call that Reference. And that's going to get painted cyan. Okay. And so I'm going to take my Outer Cut layer, change that, select these 2 areas right here, change the object layer, that's my Intercut. Okay. And now I'm going to select all of this, and I'm going to do a bounding box. And then hit Enter. And I want to move the bounding box to my reference layer. And so now I have all of those elements together. And let me take those. And I'm going to hold down the Shift key, slide that, Alt Tap that. And I'm also going to group that together so that when I move this, it all moves as a single unit. Okay. Now what I want to do with that, I'm going to place that over here. And let's make a rectangle to represent our laser bed. And so let's go to reference layer, get my rectangle tool, type in 0, and I'm going to type 48, comma 24, which is the size of our laser bed. Okay, and now I'm ready to array my parts out. Onto my laser bed. And so with this selected, I type in the command array. And the number in the X direction, I'm going to say 5. Number in the Y direction, I'm going to say 5. Number in the Z direction is 1. And now, I'm going to turn on my end snap, and I'm going to turn on my ortho snap. And now, I can click here and drag out my array. Until it fills my sheet. And as you see, I'm a little tight, and I can fit a 4 by I can easily fit a 4 by 4 array of these elements onto my sheet. Okay, and if I wanted to, you can adjust the number of units if you want to change the number of units or play around with the spacing. But this is pretty good. I could play around with my X spacing by setting my first reference point here and setting my next one there. And you notice how it pulls those in X, but I'm still losing or not using up a good part of the sheet. If I wanted to, I could change the number in Y. If I wanted to make 6. So you see you can adjust that array. When you're done, you right click, and these you won't be using, so we'll delete those, and we'll delete these. And here would be your parts that are ready for cutting on your laser cutter. And it's that simple. Okay. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can add additional elements to your array setup following a similar workflow. So if you want to put more components in your design, I'm going to show you how you can accomplish that. Okay, so I've created another unit form using the same workflow outlined earlier, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it over, a shift, alt tap it, make a copy, and I'm going to group those elements together. And now I want to add this to my design, and I'm going to look at the spaces in here, turn off my ortho snap, and I'm going to rotate this, turn off my end snap, to see if I can get it to fit in this space right here. So I'm going to place that there, and I'm going to rotate it one more time. And you notice how that fits in that space right there, like so. And as I look at this, I can go 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I'm going to do an array. And number in X direction, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number in Y direction is 3. Number in Z direction is 1. And I'm going to do my unit spacing. And so I'm going to take this just like that. And now you see how all of those line up into those spaces. Just like that. I want to check to make sure we're not getting any intersection. And that's good. We click, and we've added those there. And I can take this one, bring it over here, and I feel like I can get 2, and we'll see how many horizontal we can do. So we're going to run the array command again. Number in the X direction is 2. Y direction we'll go with 6. Z direction 1. And we're going to space these out like that and see how many we can get in there like that. And that's pretty good. That looks good. And I can make a minor adjustment there and shift that up like so. And now I've added some more elements to my sheet. And now this sheet is ready for laser cutting. And if I wanted to see this more clearly, I can select the objects on that layer, turn that one off, and I'm going to hide this. And this would be the sheet with your notch components, modular notch components, that you could send to the laser cutter and use to build your sculptural composition. And this brings the notch tutorial with silhouettes to an end. Good luck.